Flashback to President Reagan when he said this.
I think you all know that I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Flash forward to now when we are hearing things like this from the White House.
The president promised help is on the way, and today, help has arrived.
We're screwed, aren't we? I'm Tyler Zed. Welcome to Zeducation. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to another episode of That Didn't Age Well. If you are new to this series, here on this series, we call out hypocritical and lying politicians, mainstream media, and celebrities and entertainers. And today we have a full boat. We got lots of Joe Biden and Kamala. We have Dr. Fauci. We have Caitlyn Jenner, Bill Maher, some more blue check marks, and Nancy Pelosi herself, among many other things. So we have a jam-packed episode today. But before we get into today's list, I just want to say thank you guys because this channel continues to grow really fast. So please keep supporting it by liking and commenting below and sharing this channel with people who may have never heard of Zeducation. And let's keep growing and keep spreading these examples and keep spreading this message. And if this is your first time here, please support this channel by going down and subscribing and clicking the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Now, on to today's list of things that didn't age well. Number 10. In the run-up to the 2020 election, many unions endorsed Joe Biden. For example, the United Auto Workers Union endorses Joe Biden for president on April 21st of 2020. And a lot of these unions are really regretting that decision because with Joe Biden's new tax hikes and pay their fair share for the corporations, a lot of those corporations, they cannot afford to be here in America with all those taxes. So what are they doing? Places like GM to invest $1 billion in Mexico to build electric vehicles. That did not age well. United Auto Workers Union, you wanted Joe, and this is what you get. Your jobs, the people you represent, those are fleeing the country because they can't afford the taxes. But that's what you get. Number 9. For this one, we go to California in the recall election in the governorship. And Caitlyn Jenner recently came out and said this. Caitlyn Jenner labeled anti-trans after saying trans girls shouldn't compete female sports. But it wasn't long before that Caitlyn Jenner was doing this, participating in girls' sports. Caitlyn Jenner to play LPGA's ANA Inspiration Pro-Am. So which is it? And this is very common for Caitlyn Jenner, flip-flopping on issues left and right. Supported Trump, now hates Trump. Was against gay marriage, now supports gay marriage. Was participating in women's sports, now says trans people can't be in sports. Which is it? And it doesn't matter which side of the issues you are on those issues, which side of the aisle you are on. The point is, Caitlyn Jenner is a flip-flopper. The evidence is abundant. So if I were in California, I think you can find a better candidate than Caitlyn Jenner to replace Governor Newsom. That's my point. Number 8. Russia. That's all we heard through 4 years of Trump. Russia. That's all we heard. And now people like Bill Maher are coming out and saying things like this about the whole Russia narrative. Bill Maher now admits Russiagate was reported erroneously. I mean, there's no merit. I mean, it was all BS. And this is the same person, Bill Maher, who was pushing that erroneous narrative. Robert Mueller says he is very close to figuring out who in the Trump campaign was not a Russian spy. That's so funny. Oh, who are your writers? It's like the same writers for every single late night show from 2017 to 2020. You guys all had the same jokes. That's why nobody watches you anymore, because you are political hacks. At least now he's admitting it was all BS, but why did he push that BS, knowing that it didn't have much merit at the time? Number 7, we go to the military and the whole COVID situation within the military. When Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said, most urgent challenge we face in U.S. military is the coronavirus. The most urgent problem. That's what he is saying here. That's what he's saying about the military. But to put that in perspective, Lucas Tomlinson reports U.S. military suicides last year, 571. U.S. military deaths by COVID, 26. Wow, 26, 2,000% more deaths? Is my math right? I mean, I went to public school, I don't know, but that is the most urgent COVID, and we have a lot more military members committing suicide. Priorities, guys, priorities. That's right. Here we go. Great example of that. Follow the science. Follow the science, guys. Follow the numbers, the statistics. COVID, 26. Suicides, 571. More urgent COVID, obviously. Number 6. With number 6, we go to the blue check marks on Twitter. They're just the gift that keeps on giving. Last year, this blue check mark right before the election was criticizing Trump and his banning of travel from China when the coronavirus was running rampant there. Suspending travel from China made zero difference because COVID was already global. Wow, Orange Man, yeah, how dare you suspend travel to China? It just didn't make a difference. It didn't make a difference. That same blue check mark now in 2021, when Biden suspends travel from India, says this. NBC News, White House to ban most U.S. flights to and from India. Same blue check mark. Necessary, but heartbreaking. But blue check mark, why was it different when Trump did it? It's already global, and we are months past when you said that under Trump. Why the change of tune? Number 5. And speaking of the travel bans, this is what Biden said when Trump did it, when he criticized him. A wall will not stop the coronavirus. Banning all travel from Europe or any other part of the world will not stop it. This disease could impact every nation and any person on the planet, and we need a plan to combat it. And Joe Biden's plan is the same exact plan. He's banning travel from India. What a racist. News. A White House official tells CNN that on the advice of the CDC, the Biden administration will restrict travel from India starting May 4th. I also want to point out that Joe Biden called the banning of travel to these countries xenophobic. What a racist, Joe Biden. I can't believe you did this. You're banning travel to and from India. What a racist. And like you said, it's not going to stop it. It's already spreading. How dare you? Once a politician, always a politician. This is Joe Biden in a nutshell. This is what he is. So we shouldn't expect anything less. Number 4. On to the media and how they are trying so hard, desperately, to control the narrative on the Colonial Pipeline shutdown and the gas shortages in eastern U.S. They are trying desperately to cover for Joe Biden and make it not seem as bad as it is. For example, the New York Times, when they said this, Colonial Pipeline, a vital U.S. fuel artery that was shut down by a cyber attack, said it hoped to restore most operations by the end of the week. Since the shutdown, there have been no long lines or major price hikes for gas. The New York Times saying this on the exact same day when they wrote this, saying, no, it's not that bad. Over 1,000 gas stations are out of fuel across the Southeast. And videos popping up all over the place of long lines on that same exact day, May 11th, when the New York Times wrote this propaganda piece. It just all over the place. It was so bad, in fact, that a couple days later, CNN, fellow propaganda site to New York Times, their own Wolf Blitzer was taking pictures at the pumps showing that they were out of fuel. And 5 days later, on May 16th, this was the current gas outage by states. Look at this, and as you can see, DC, 88% gas outage. This is absolutely shocking. South Carolina, 50%. North Carolina, 58%. Total 12,466 stations without gas. And the New York Times wants you to think that it's not that big of a problem. Keep trying harder. Luckily, we have social media and we can see for our own eyes. You can't spin it as hard as you want to and control the narrative. So keep trying. It's making you look worse and worse. I love to see it. Number 3. Back to one of our favorite dirty, swampy politicians, Nancy Pelosi. Recently, she was at an event with some Giants baseball players, some former players, and she wrote this and took a picture with, well, here's her own words.
Happy 90th birthday to an all-American icon, Willie Mays, a trailblazing, record-breaking baseball player, civil rights leader, and champion of youth sports and well-being. Willie Mays is a civic legend and national treasure.
The problem with that photo, Nancy, is that's not Willie Mays. This is Willie Mays. You are taking a picture with Willie McCovey. You wouldn't know that because you're a politician. You don't actually care about people. You don't. You care about your power and playing the game of power. This is just a photo op for you. That's why you didn't know his name. It's so transparent with you that it's nauseating. Number 2. Oh, for number 2, we go to Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen is one of the far-left SJWs who has perpetuated the notion of cancel culture for years now. First, let me just show you. Recently, Chrissy got sick of Twitter for some reason. She went on Twitter and made this announcement that she was leaving, and she got off Twitter. not too long after that, she came back, and that did not age well at all, because once she reactivated her account, some really, really, really nasty tweets resurfaced. Tweets of her telling teenage girls to go and self-harm. She was promoting suicide to a teenage girl. That's Chrissy Teigen. That's what she does. And that did not age well, because this person who has perpetuated cancel culture got canceled herself. Chrissy Teigen's Cravings cookware is dropped online by Macy's 3 days after Target. Backlash grows over Star's botched apology to Courtney Stodden for telling her to kill herself in 2011. Karma's a bitch. You know, that's all I can say about that. I hate cancel culture. I don't want people to participate, but she was doing it herself. She was helping cancel people, and she got canceled herself. So, you know, karma is karma. Number one. For number one, we go to the experts. Trust the experts, guys. That's one of the themes of this channel. I want you guys to trust the experts blindly. Do what they say. Back in March, Texas, they lifted their mask mandate. They got rid of most of their COVID rules. And Dr. Fauci, the expert, he came out and said this: Texas and Mississippi mask mandate rollbacks are ill-advised and risky. Ill-advised. The expert said that was a bad idea. One of the biggest states in the union, Texas, lifting the mask mandate. That's wow, it's going to end in disaster. And even Joe Biden, the expert Joe Biden, he said this about that time.
The last thing we need is Neanderthal thinking that in the meantime everything's fine, take off your mask, forget it.
Neanderthal thinking. That's what he called Governor Abbott when he lifted these mask mandates. Dr. Fauci said it was a bad idea. Everyone was freaking out. Texas is lifting the mask mandate. It's going to spread. Well, on May 16th, these were the Texas COVID numbers. Today, Texas reported 0 COVID-related deaths. The only time that's happened since data was tracked in March 2020. The fewest COVID cases in over 13 months. The lowest 7-day COVID positivity rate ever. The lowest COVID hospitalizations in 11 months. Thanks, Texans. But the experts said that this was a bad idea. Texas was scolded. The experts were wrong. How could that be? How could the experts be wrong? It just doesn't make sense. What do you think about today's list? What do you think about the experts? What do you think about Chrissy Teigen, Nancy Pelosi, all these other blue check marks? What do you think about all these things that didn't age well? Let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, please like this video. Please help me get it recommended to others. That's it for today's video. Until next time, I'm Tyler Zed, and this is Zeducation.
Idiots.